Welcome back to Sport on 7, 30 minutes, getting as much sport in as possible. I'm Tom Bushell, and you can follow me on Twitter. It's at Tom Bushell UAE for the Twitter handle. Still to come tonight, all the big results of the week and tips to keep your golf game progressing. But have you ever kayaked around the Palm? Me neither, but for two girls, that's the challenge they face later on this year. It's a tough ask, and so many hours of training are taking place. I caught up with them as they headed into the water for another grueling morning of training. It's 25 kilometres around the Palm Jumeirah and Dubai Marina, but depending on weather conditions, that could well feel like 50 kilometres. It takes a while in a powered boat, but to do it under your own power, well, that takes a big effort. To get around this huge offshore man-made construction, you need to have a huge motivating factor, and that's exactly what Julia Kayaking and Lady Elizabeth have. Laras Foundation was set up by Julia Kayaking after her best friend Lara sadly passed away earlier this year. I caught up with Julia before another training session on the waters around the Palm. Julia, 6 weeks to go until the big challenge, 25 kilometres around Palm Jumeirah in a kayak, and of course all for Laras Foundation. It's a great motivation for you. Just tell me a little bit about how Laras Foundation came about first of all.
Yeah, sure. Laras Foundation is a charity that's been set up this year. It's a UK charity. It was set up in memory of my best friend Lara, who very sadly passed away this year. It was set up really to fulfil her ambitions for providing education, English language tuition to disadvantaged South Americans, to people who wouldn't normally have had the means to access such tuition.
And of course, 25 kilometres it's going to be for you in a kayak around Palm Jumeirah and along, of course, the marina and JBR. It's going to be an amazing challenge, isn't it? Are you ready for it?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're training really hard. We've been training since August, July, August, which has been pretty tough in these heat conditions. You know, it's been really hot out there, little water. Sea conditions have been a bit rough, so we're doing all we can to train. I'm also doing boot camp at the moment, which is very tough, but getting me in tip-top shape. So we're just keeping at the training and stepping it up a bit now. Julia's friend, Lady Elizabeth, will be Julia's companion on this challenge, and she can't wait to get going. Elizabeth, 6 weeks to go. Are you ready for this challenge?
Yes, we are. We've been training really hard over the past month. Gymming 3 times a week, tennis twice a week, and swimming at sea, long distance training for about 2k on the Friday and 2k on the Saturday, so getting ready.
And who came up with the training program? I mean, obviously you're going to be kayaking, but why the tennis and obviously the gym as well?
I sort of came up with the training program. I used to play tennis semi-professionally, so I'm usually quite fit. Used to working out 2-3 times a week already. We're also in the process of organising a tennis charity event to support the kayaking event. So there shall be a separate tennis tournament organised in Abu Dhabi and Dubai at some stage as well. So I've been elaborating on the programme myself, and also with a colleague of mine who is a professional tennis coach and a physiotherapist in Miami at a tennis academy at the moment. And also working on a programme with a colleague of mine in my office called Wael El Tunzi, who will be helping us out as well. And on the swimming side of things, I'm training with lifeguards. One lifeguard called Rima and another lifeguard called Jerry, who are based here in Dubai. So I'm working hard at it, yeah.
Well, obviously, you know, lots of hard work needs to go into it. 25 kilometres is not going to be easy, but what do you think will be the biggest challenge of that challenge, of those 25 kilometres? Will it be the last 5 or the first 5?
I think it will probably be the last 5 kilometres. We're hoping that the weather and sea conditions will be good, but it's going to be tough. Hopefully there won't be any obstacles. I'm told there are a lot of jellyfish and barracudas and stingrays around the Palm, so we'll keep far away from those.
And of course you're not going to have any kind of support vessel with you, so it really is up to the two of you to keep each other motivated.
Yeah. I'm a pretty good swimmer and I know how to rescue. So hopefully, if something happens, I'll have to use my skills, and some of my lifeguard friends will attend. Hopefully, so they'll keep an eye on us.
The challenge will take place on October the 12th. That's a time when the surfing season gets underway here in Dubai and the seas can be a little rougher. So are these girls ready for the grueling task? Looking at the water now, it looks so lovely and calm, but come October it might be a little bit more choppy. But are you prepared for all conditions?
Yeah, well, I guess we're lucky in that we've had some choppy conditions to train in so far, which on the day didn't feel so much fun, but it prepares you for the worst, so yeah.
And of course, for a challenge like this, you need a big motivation, and that's exactly what you have.
Exactly, yeah. Lara was an inspirational teacher. She dedicated her life to it, and she also loved travelling, so she was very passionate about South America and opening some kind of education facilities there.
And why this challenge? Why kayaking and why around Palm Jumeirah?
I wanted to do something a little bit different to the normal run. Firstly, because I'm not very good at running. Also because I have kayaked with Lara previously on a holiday, which was one of my really fondest memories. And also Palm Jumeirah is such an international icon. I thought it was really quite fitting to do it for a charity with such an international reach.
So 6 weeks to go, of course, in terms of training. Lots of hard work being put in, but how long do you think the actual challenge will take to do those 25 kilometres?
Well, I have been told that it may take between 5 and 6 hours, but it really depends on the sea conditions on the day and how lucky we get with the wind, so fingers crossed that it's not going to be too choppy.
A big challenge and a big cause, but now that the weather begins to cool down in the UAE, this is also a great example of getting outside and making the most out of where we live. To get involved with these girls on their challenge, head to larasfoundation.co.uk. So obviously 25 kilometres out there at sea, it's going to be tough, but if one of you gets tired, how's the other one going to keep each other motivated?
I think we have a pretty good friendship. We can, we'll be chatting, gossiping along the way, playing some games maybe. It's quite a long time out there, so we're going to have to try and keep each other entertained. Maybe a few songs.
Yep, a few songs, and we're trying to figure out a way how to bring some music on board.
Yeah.
So working on getting a radio. Waterproof radio, yep.
And you'll be hoping for any boats that are out on the sea that day, they'll come over and say hello and keep you going as well?
That would be nice. If anyone wants to say hello, drop us off some food, that would be great.
And of course, after this, it's such a big challenge, but can you see yourselves doing any more to keep the momentum of Laras Foundation continuing?
Definitely. We don't have anything in the pipeline at the minute because I think all our efforts are into this, but Lara's friends around the world have organised already so many charity events, and it's kind of, we're keeping them coming, we support them from here, and we'll organise something else further down the line from Dubai as well.
It's not a race for these girls, it's all about raising the awareness. Good luck, Julia and Elizabeth.
Hello and welcome to Jumeirah Golf Estates and the Tour Academy. My name's Wayne Johnson. Today we're going to talk about the short game, the shots that you experience from 100 yards and into the green. We've got 4 key areas: chipping, pitching, bunker play and putting. We're going to focus on some chipping and some putting, give you some tips, some ideas of how you can improve your score and have much more fun on the golf course. The first shot we're going to work on is what we call the chip and run. We're 2 to 3 paces away from the putting surface. Wouldn't really encourage you using your putter from here because you're going from longer grass to shorter grass, difficult to gauge the pace of the shot. So we want to show you a shot where we can get the ball flying in the air, landing on the green and then rolling towards your target. We're going to pick an 8-iron for this shot. It's a great club to get the ball flying on a low trajectory and then have plenty of forward momentum to run towards the target. So we want to make sure that the ball is positioned, firstly by aiming the face of the club, position the ball centrally into the stance. Throughout this stroke, I want to maintain my weight on my forward leg. It stays there throughout the swing, and the motion of the swing, with my hands gripping a little bit down the shaft for more control, is very much a feeling of arm swing. As the club's swinging forward, I'm going to let my body turn, which delivers the power to the stroke. Let's try one. So we aim the face of the club, we position the ball centrally, maintain the weight on the forward leg, and now for the motion of swing. If you follow those fundamentals, you're going to have a lot more success around the golf course.
He's not a bad teacher, is he? Sadly, the wildcard entries for this year's Ryder Cup have been selected, but there is always next time. Still to come on Sport on 7 tonight. Chris Vaccardi from Sport 360 is joining me to discuss the best of the week's stories. We'll also have the big results for you next on Sport on 7.